Hi, welcome to the ISO's overview of the tax filing obligations that apply to international students in the United States. In general, all international students have a federal tax filing obligation, even if you don't earn any US income. The tax year is the same as a calendar year and runs from January 1st to December 31st. If you are present in the US in F1 or J1 status during the tax year, even if it's only for one day, you will need to report to the Internal Revenue Service, referred to as the IRS. The time when individuals must report to the IRS is known as tax season. Tax season typically starts in late January and ends mid-April. During that time, you must report your presence in the US and any income made from the previous calendar year. Your exact reporting requirements will depend on your individual circumstances. If you have just arrived in the US and you are not receiving any payments, there's nothing you need to do right now, but remember that you will need to take action next spring. If you are receiving payments, in most cases, taxes will be automatically withheld. The amount that is withheld will vary depending on factors such as the type of payment, your tax residency status, and whether you are eligible for a tax treaty benefit. If you are receiving payments from the University of Rochester, it's extremely important that you complete your SprintTax Calculus profile. SprintTax Calculus is sometimes referred to as SprintTax Forms and is the tax compliance software used by payroll to determine the appropriate amount of tax to withhold from your pay. Failure to complete your SprintTax Calculus profile could result in incorrect tax withholdings and could mean you owe additional taxes when you file your return. If SprintTax Calculus has identified you as a resident for tax purposes, and you are receiving what the university refers to as non-service payments, such as a fellowship or assistantship, tax will not be automatically withheld from your pay. Instead, you will be responsible for calculating how much of that payment is taxable, and you will need to make that quarterly estimated tax payments to the IRS and the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. It's important you make these payments to avoid penalties. If you're receiving payment from other US sources, you'll need to work with the payer directly to determine your tax withholdings. Once the tax year has ended, you can expect to receive year-end documentation regarding the income that you made. For example, if you had on-campus employment, you will receive a W-2 wage and tax statement that summarizes how much you earned and what taxes were withheld. If you had multiple sources of US income, you should receive a separate document for each. You'll need to collect all of this documentation in order to complete and file your tax return with the US government. At that time, you'll learn if you paid enough tax during the year. Some students may owe additional tax and some may receive a refund. Information on resources available to assist students to prepare their tax return is available on ISO's website. Complying with your tax obligations is an important part of maintaining your F1 or J1 status, so please prioritize it.